Hey, have you been wondering how you can create an opt-in page, thank you page with an automatic email using Kajabi? Well, in today's video, we're going to show you how to do that in 3 simple steps. Again, if you're looking to create an opt-in page with a thank you page, have an email sent out to whoever opts in, and possibly you want to link them out to maybe your Facebook group or something to download, this video is going to be for you. We're going to get straight into it starting now. Okay, so the very first thing we have to do is click right here on the left sidebar, which is how Kajabi usually is, and everything that they do is most of the options and all your navigation is going to be on the left hand side here. So website is what we're going to click on, and then we're going to click on the word pages, which is right underneath design. So pages. And then before we click on anything else, pages is represented by 3 categories: website, landing, and pipelines. We are going to click on landing because that's ultimately what this is a landing page. And so then what we're going to do is hit at the top right corner, new landing page. Okay. So there we go. And then of course, Kajabi has landing pages separated kind of by the purpose, right? So if you're looking to build a sales page, then it would be under this sales, right? If you're looking to create a thank you and confirmation page, it would be under this, which we're going to come back to that. And here is the opt-in lead capture pages. Okay. And so what I like to do is just keep it very simple. I just go with the regular Kajabi template, which is called Streamline Opt-in. You of course can choose any of these, but I like this theme because it's really customizable, okay? And so what we're going to do is just name it opt-in page, okay? Now, for whatever you're doing, I would definitely name it like the whole purpose. So let's say you're having a workshop, then I would definitely put, the name of your workshop opt-in, okay? It's just easier when you're looking at all your pages when it's titled in a way that is easy for you to know what page is what. So, but we're going to just call it opt-in page in this tutorial. Okay, so we click create and it's going to kind of load. And then depending on the status of Kajabi, sometimes it happens within a second. Sometimes it may take 20 seconds. It's never really guaranteed wait time. Okay, so now it's loading up. And again, like I stated at the beginning of this video, when it comes to navigation and all the editing, it's all done on the left sidebar. So this is where you always have to look when you're trying to figure out how to edit something. You're not going to edit anything here. The action of the editing is done on the left-hand sidebar. Okay, so just remember that, all right? So what we've done so far is we've created the opt-in page. Now, here are a couple of rules. I'm not going to go through this page and create everything in it. I'll leave the editing up to you. But what I'm going to do on this page is just show you how to quickly edit what you should edit. And then a couple of other tips that I like. When it comes to a landing opt-in page, I always hide the header and the footer. There's no purpose in having navigation up here because all it really does is takes away from what the purpose of the landing page is. And the purpose of the landing page is to get people to submit their email or their phone number or whatever you're asking for. That's the purpose. The purpose is not for them to come here and click on the navigation. So what we're going to do first on the left-hand sidebar is click header. Okay. And then we're going to scroll down where it says section settings. And we're going to click on desktop layout and choose hide header. We're going to do the same thing under mobile layout, which is right underneath. Mobile layout, hide header. So if somebody's on their mobile phone, they're not going to see it. And if they're on their desktop, they're not going to see it. Okay. And we're going to hit save. And even if you, for example, let's say you don't hit save and you try to exit out of all this, Kajabi will give you a heads up. Hey, are you sure you want to get out of here because you just made edits? So even if you forget, don't worry about it. Now go down to footer. Okay. Now remember, what am I doing? Everything's on the left sidebar, right? I was just in the header. I came up here and I clicked back. Don't click this button, but click the actual word back. Okay. And then it takes me back to the left-hand sidebar. And that's how the navigation runs when you're editing a page in Kajabi. You're always pressing back to get to the previous page. Okay. You're not really pressing forward in a sense. So what we're going to do now is scroll down to footer. Okay. And do the same thing. Desktop layout, mobile layout, and we're going to hide footer, hit save. Okay. So now the footer is gone and the header is gone. Now, for some of you advanced gurus out there, you might want to keep the footer because you might have to put your disclaimer. Sometimes you'll see on landing pages how they have the Facebook disclaimer out there. So I'm not going to get into that in this tutorial. We're just going to keep it real simple. But if you were more advanced, you'd obviously probably keep that footer. Okay, so we got rid of the header, we got rid of the footer. And now what I want to do before I go any further is just kind of explain really quickly how the editing process takes place. Basically, you have a section and you have blocks within the section. Now, Kajabi does a great deal of trying to make this as simple as possible. As you could see, there's a word section. You see where my mouse tip is at here? Section, right? And it's talking about this entire section. And then there's block. You see that where it says block right there at the top left corner? Block, block, block. So when it comes to adding something, what you're doing is you're adding a block to a section, okay? And on the left sidebar, this is what you're looking at. When your sidebar has header and footer, section and settings, this is what you're looking at. These are the overall sections. Now, if you were to click on the first section named Hero with Form, now you're looking at the blocks within that section. And that's essentially what you see here on the screen. So the great thing about Kajabi is everything is, when you edit it, you see it change in real time, okay? So for example, because this is about opt-in pages and we want people to opt in, I'm going to assume that your text would say the title of what's going on, like, hey, this is what this is all about, right? And then there's like a subtext here, of course. But what we're going to bring our attention to is the form, okay? So what we need to do in order to make this happen is we have to have a form created for people to opt into, okay? It's really, really simple. So we click on form, we click on the drop down, and we choose the form we're going to use. Now, let's say you haven't created a form. You're like, Devoria, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. All you got to do is hit the little blue hyperlink, edit your forms. A new tab will open up, and it will take you to the actual place to create a form. Now, if you're asking yourself, why do I have to do this? Because you have to have a form for somebody to give their email to. That's the only way it's going to work, okay? So let's click on New Form, and we're going to title it. Again, I highly recommend you title it based on the purpose of whatever you're doing. So we're going to just say tutorial form, okay? Hit save, because this video is a tutorial. And you have a couple of options, but we're going to keep this simple. I would uncheck send double opt-in email to new contacts. I don't have that on because usually I'm sending it out to my existing email list already. Then the second section is form fields. This is where you get to decide, do I want their name, their email, their phone number, their address, or do I just want their email? So let's just say in this example, we just want their email address, okay? So we're just going to hit the X, okay, the X where the name is at, X right there, and it's deleted. Understand something. All opt-in forms have to collect an email address, just for the record. Okay, so then the third section is automations. Very simple. What we want to do is click Add Automation. And then under the drop-down, send an email. Okay? We want to make sure that we're sending an email to the person who's going to give us their email address. All right? And the first part of the email is changing the subject. So I like to just put it in usually this format. Your confirmation to, whatever the name of your event is, or your confirmation for, right? It might be 2 or 4, whatever you want to put. It's totally up to you. But I usually start off with your confirmation and then whatever it is. So for example, if it was a workshop, your confirmation for the Get Well workshop, right? Let's say that was the name of my workshop. That's what I would write, okay? So what we're going to do is just leave this on a ... I'll let you fill in the blank there. And then here is the body of the email. Very simple. Again, you get to put whatever you want in here. What I like to do is follow the same thing when it comes to teaching. You tell people what you're going to tell them. Then you actually tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So in a sense here in this email, you're just reiterating what just happened. Hey, whatever so-and-so, you just registered, and here is your confirmation, right? That's all this email is. There's no perfect format That is just the purpose of the email. So type it however you really want to type it out. Okay. And then just hit save. All right. And so now what we've done so far is we created our opt-in page. We just created the form that people are going to submit their email in. So when people submit their email, they are going to get an email confirmation from us. Hey, we just got your confirmation. Here is the additional details to whatever you're opting into. Okay. And then there's one more thing I like to do. I like to send a notification to my team. So based on your email address, I really don't know what your email address is, but obviously you'd put your email address in here. And when you type in your email address, here's a little tip, because this can be a little annoying if you don't know this, is anytime you're typing an email address in after submission blocks, you have to press the key tab for it to actually accept it. Because if you don't do that, the email kind of just disappears, right? So when you hit tab, that's when it actually stays in this block, and then you hit save at the top right corner. Okay, so we've created our form. Now all we got to do is go back to our first tab in our web browser here. So let's go back to the first tab where the opt-in page is at. And Kajabi updates in real time, so we don't even have to refresh this page. All we have to do is go back to where it says form, click the drop down, and then we're going to look for tutorial. And you can always type it, you could type it to search it if you wanted to. And there it is, tutorial form. Boom. And there it is. That's simple. And then so what we're going to do is hit save. All right. Now, for the rest of this opt-in page, that is going to be in your court. Okay. You've got to go back here and input whatever information you want to be on here. I'm not going to get into all that. I just want to make this a very simple tutorial on how you can create an opt-in page, a thank you page, and an email confirmation, just doing 3 things. So first thing that we did is we created the opt-in page. The second thing we did is we created the form. And then the third thing that we have to do is actually create the thank you page. Okay. And then we'll actually make sure that it's all connected at the end. So at this moment, what we're going to do is exit out of the opt-in page, and we're going to go create the thank you page. So how do we do that? Well, we click here on the word back, and we keep clicking it until we see the landing pages, and then we click on that. And so it's taking us to our landing pages. This is the page that we just created. All right, so let's click again, top right corner, new landing page. And remember, all the templates are going to come up again. We're going to the section that says thank you and confirmation. Again, I just go with the basic templates. I don't try to overthink this, all right? So click preview on Danky, which is the name of this template, a simple and clean page to your thank you visitors when they sign up. Hit get started. And again, I recommend you title it the purpose of whatever you're doing, and then the words thank you. So for this tutorial, thank you page, create. All right, so it's warming up, installing the theme now, waking up the hamsters. Okay, so here is the thank you page. Now, what we're going to want to do again is make sure we know what we're doing. All of the editing takes place on the left-hand sidebar, okay? And so as you're looking at this, you notice there's no header and no footer. That's because it's already turned off automatically, okay? So what you want to do here is just when you scroll over, you'll see the word edit that kind of comes up. The left sidebar updates. Do you guys notice that? Like, let's say I'm looking at this button and I want to edit this button. The word edit comes up. I click on it, and then the sidebar changes, and it takes me to the area where I can make those edits happen. Okay. So again, like I said, maybe you want to link them to your Facebook group. So obviously right here, you'd probably type in join the free Facebook group. Okay. Or join the Facebook group, right? There we go. So they know after they've opted in, hey, join the Facebook group. Boom. And then underneath on the left-hand sidebar where I just inputted that text, right? It's under the block settings called call to action. Okay. And let's say you didn't want a button, for the record, you could just uncheck this and the button it would just go away. Okay. Call to action is a button essentially. If I clicked on it again, it'll be back there. Okay. Here's the text for that button. And then here's the URL. Okay, so we want to create a URL for it, obviously. And that URL would definitely, if you were directing people to Facebook, right, it'd be /groups, and then obviously your group name. Okay. And if you want them to open it in a new tab, you could definitely do that. If you want to make additional customizations, it's all right here, but we're not going to do that in this video. So just hit save. And the very last part of this thank you page is where you can edit the text right here. Again, you see the word edit comes up when I scroll my mouse over this section. If I just click on it, it takes me to it on the left sidebar, and this is where you can edit. Okay. Now let's say you wanted to customize the colors a little bit. You would just go down to where it says background, okay? And then you could change the block background color. Let's say you want it to be red, and now it's red. If you want it to be green, now it's green, okay? And that's how that works, all right? So we'll just hit save. We're gonna hit the back button because now we've just completed step number 3. The thank you page is done. So let's hit back. Okay. Go back to landing pages. And we're going to go back to our opt-in page and connect the thank you page and the opt-in page together. So all you got to do is when you want to go back and edit a page you've already created, hit the 3 dots on the right side here and go to customize. Let's see here. Actually, I'm wrong. It's actually right here. This little painter or paint little icon. If you scroll over, it'll say the word customize. Okay, so click customize. And it's going to bring up the page for us to customize the opt-in page here. And so what we're going to do is connect the thank you page with this page. How do we do that? Well, when somebody hits that button submit, we want them to be automatically directed to the thank you page. So we scroll over the button submit and we hit edit. And here is the button. Here's the additional information, right? So if I wanted to change the text to submit now, it'd be right there. Boom, right? So if we scroll up actually a little bit, we'll see where it says thank you page. And right now it's say, do you want them to go to a URL? Obviously there's no URL here, but we have other options. So we click on go to a URL. We have other options. They can download a file, go to a landing page, go to a checkout page. You should be choosing go to a landing page in this tutorial. And in that landing page, again, we titled it tutorial thank you page, right? This is why I recommend that you title things that makes it easier for you to find them. So tutorial thank you page, okay? And then we hit save. Now the pages are connected, okay? So let's actually take a live look at this. So right here at the top, opposite of the word back, you will always see this icon. This is the preview icon. So just click on there. And now we're looking at the live page that we put together here of the opt-in page. So I'm going to put in my spam email that I use when I don't want people to spam me, right? So I input my email, hit submit now. Boom. Now it automatically directed me to the thank you page. And if I click on this button, it's going to take me to my Facebook group. And obviously it's not going to work because the URL was wrong. So this is good. I'm glad this happened. So sometimes this happens if you don't title the URL correctly. So what's happening is the system doesn't automatically correct the URL. So it's thinking that the URL is coming after your custom domain name. So what do you do, right? It doesn't really matter. What do you do when you see this? Well, what you want to do is go back to the opt-in page, okay? And, or correction, you actually need to go back to your thank you page because that's where that link is located. So we're going to go back to the thank you page, looking for that little customize icon there. So click on that. All right, and we're going to click on the button where that link is located, and we're going to update this. See, it was missing a /. That's why that happened. So I'll actually just put www.facebook just to make sure. Save. All right, so if I hit the preview of this thank you page, join the Facebook group, boom, and the Facebook group happens. All right, there we go. Now we are good. And if I go to my email address, right? So if I go to my email address I use, if I know people are going to spam me all the time. Okay. Let's see here. Let me switch this around. There it is. Your confirmation, right? They automatically get the email, your confirmation. Hello, Joe. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. And that's how they get the automatic email. Okay. Let me exit out of that. This is a simple tutorial on how to create an opt-in page, a thank you page with an email confirmation, and then a link to send people to your Facebook group. This is as simple as it gets, guys. It's not really hard. Very, very simple. What you should end up with is just 2 pages, your opt-in page, your thank you page, and you just connect them in the end like we did. So what did we do today? We created an opt-in page, a thank you page, an email confirmation, and then a link to our Facebook group. Okay, if this tutorial was very valuable and it answered your question, please let me know in the below section so I know that this is of value and I can continue to make videos and tutorials like this on this channel. Thank you so much for checking this out. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Take care.